content is the commercial. That's right.
What a brilliant idea. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Cannata.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens.
Anthony, it's summer.
You better believe it.
The temperatures are rising above what their normally extremely high and hot temperatures are.
What do you know? Come on. You're in Colorado in the mountains in a beautiful enclave painted by Thomas Kincaid.
I wasn't talking about me. I was relating to you and my memories of being where you are.
Dude, it's rough. I got a window open and a fan going right off camera right now, and I swear if it messes up the audio, none of you concerned citizens should say anything. Anything at all.
It's warm. When you were a kid, did you have access to a pool? Were you going to the pool in the summertime?
Yes. So I remember very vividly the summer that my father had a pool put into our backyard.
Like a real in-ground
like an in-ground pool.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember that. And I remember we did it because our next door neighbors had an in-ground pool, and my father found it very amazing and also very frustrating that he didn't have a pool.
It's a solid screener on that.
Now that somebody else had one, he also needed to have one. We did have the first neighbor that I remember to get a pool did have an above-ground pool. Where it's just like you're swimming in a water tower is the way I always pictured it when I was a kid.
We always called those doughboys. Is that what
doughboys?
you guys?
Why are they called doughboys?
I think that was a brand name of a type of above ground pool that you could buy.
Really? Okay.
I never heard it referred to anything except a doughboy when I was a kid.
Doughboy. Doughboy pools. Above ground swimming manufacturer. Okay, so they're like the Kleenex of above ground pools.
At least for my little neighborhood, they were, yeah.
Okay. No, I don't remember anything like that because I was 7. But I remember the summer that the pool got put into the yard. And I remember being specifically told, because I was 7 and my sister was 3, being told that I always had to look out and know where she was when she was at the pool.
Yeah.
Because, kids could slip in. What we didn't know is that my sister would jump into the pool at every opportunity she had. She would run and jump into that pool, not knowing how to swim. And she
just
knew.
Trying to die.
She literally just trying to die. Amanda Carboni would simply jump into the pool whenever anyone wasn't looking. And it was known throughout the neighborhood. If we were anywhere and there was any body of water, it was, watch out for Amanda. Amanda can't swim. And every time she jumped in, she would just go sink into the bottom.
Sure.
And somebody would come in and yank her out and be like, you can't swim, dummy. And she was like, wee! And so I actually, for the first year that we had a pool, I had a little bit of like PTSD about it, because I was always like, if we're out here, where's Amanda?
That's hilarious. Yeah, I was very lucky. My dad put a pool in our backyard when I was 1. So I didn't have any life without a pool my entire childhood.
Old Rockefeller over here doesn't remember not having a pool.
That's right. Yeah. In fact, we were the only pool. I lived in a really deep cul-de-sac that kind of went up a little bit of a hill, and we were the furthest back house at the top of the hill in the cul-de-sac, and we were also the only house that had a pool. So we were like the neighborhood destination. And my dad actually did a really cool thing. He would put a little flag out, little nautical flag out in the front of the house that said, "Hey, the back gate is open. There is an adult watching the pool. Any kid is welcome. You just send your kids to our house, and you could just come into our backyard, and there'll be an adult sort of being the lifeguard watching." Yeah, so it was our house was
more
like
kind.
The destination.
Yeah, that is way more kind than I think most people. Certainly way more kind than my father, who was like, fucking neighbors coming over again to swim in the fucking pool. Fucking neighbors coming over and I remember my mom just being like, you wanted the pool. You wanted the status symbol of having a pool. What is it? Now, what did you think was going to happen? What are you going to do? How do you show off your fancy pool if people don't come over, Mr. Big Shot? And my dad was like, I didn't think about it. I just wanted people to know.
I would love to know how much it cost. I know that my dad had a work accident that happened. It was really actually he almost died on a construction site. He was working construction and something fell on his head and he wasn't wearing a hard hat because the foreman was like, don't wear hard hats for some stupid reason. Anyway, he got a settlement and that was the money he used to put the pool in. This like settlement he got from this accident.
He used his brain money to get a pool?
That's exactly right. He has a metal
metal plate
in his skull. Yeah.
Whoa.
Anyway, and they were picking bits of bone out of his brain. Oh, he almost died. Anyway,
Jesus.
We got us a pool,
but
so
free
I'd
pool.
say worth it. Yeah.
Look, if any landing you can walk away from with a free pool.
That's right.
Is what they say.
But we looked into putting a pool in at our house when I was living in Los Angeles, and it was like high six figures. And we were like, what now? Excuse me? What?
Yeah, it's not inexpensive.
No.
Like I remember like because in Florida, it's everybody you got to have a pool. Everybody's got a pool. What are you going to have a pool? Where's the pool? If you don't have a pool, the neighborhood has to have a pool. What's up with the pool?
Right.
So you learn a lot about it, and it's like, oh, okay. I think you dig a hole, you cover it with concrete, and you got a pool. And it's like, no, dude, there's like the amount of weird shit that goes into like the surfacing of a pool, like the special stuff that's on the surface of the pool, and like, and how you have to install that. And then, I don't know, it's crazy to just have a hole in the ground filled with water, what it costs. It's just a hole in the ground filled with water.
Actually, there's a dude on YouTube that does these videos that I was watching years ago that where he'll dig a pool. He'll make a pool with his hands.
Yes.
Like no tools. Have you seen that guy?
Yeah. And sometimes they'll dig like an underground house to go along with the pool. Yeah, I've seen these people. They dig pools with their hands, and they also like carve homes into the ground. And it's like all done in like time lapse. And I remember looking at it and being like, if everything falls apart, I can do this. I was like, if everything goes wrong in my life, I can simply walk out into the Angeles forest and do this.
Craft myself a home.
I'll simply dig a home in the dirt. No one can stop me from digging a home in the dirt.
See, I watch those and go, there's no universe where I could do that. That person is a superhero. I can't. It's
the universe where you have to.
Yeah.
It's the universe where you have to, and now you have the knowledge.
That's the universe where I die the first.
Probably.
I'm the first.
Probably. And let me tell you something. I can't stand the feeling of dirt under my fingernails.
Oh, no. It's awful.
I can feel it, dude.
Yeah. Terrible. Now, here in Colorado, where we live, our community, our HOA has a pool. And so we're going to the community pool, which is a completely different experience for me, where like, everybody from around there's 60 70 people at the pool at any given day. It's this madhouse of kids and screaming and action. It's a completely different experience.
If you're a kid, it's great though.
Yeah, amazing.
Because I remember I would more having a pool in your backyard, you very rarely use it, and you don't know why.
We lived in that thing, man. Summertime, I was never out of that pool.
We would like jump in and stuff, but we wouldn't like hang out at the pool, like around the pool all day or something. And I realized as I got older, it's because like it's just me and my sister. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like the community pool is great because it's like there's stuff to do. There are people around. Feels like a thing.
I don't know, man. We were just talking before we started recording about how this summer is about like figuring out activities for my kids.
Yeah.
I didn't have activities. We had a pool. That's what I did. I remembered just jumping up and down in the pool by myself for hours. I remember pretending I was a superhero and I could fly in the pool. Like I just invented things to do in the pool.
Yeah. Can I tell you, there was a bad day in the pool where I, the floating chlorine dispenser.
Oh yeah.
It looked like a technological like thing.
Sure.
And
R2 unit.
Yeah, I was pretending it was like a robot or a time bomb or an Allspark or something.
Yeah.
And so I was carrying it around and like throwing it and stuff. Hey, man, I was just breathing in chlorine for like 2 hours, and then I started feeling real sick, and I didn't know why. And I was like, I don't feel good. And my dad was like, were you playing with the chlorine? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, you can't play with chlorine. And I was like, oh, okay. That seems like the sort of thing that you should tell me. That feels like...
Yeah. You shouldn't put the chlorine in a real fascinating looking container, you know?
Yeah, you put me alone with one object in a pool and tell me not to use my amazing imagination.
Yeah.
The most powerful tool I have, according to you. And you tell me I'm sitting here with this thing and don't use your imagination and don't touch it. Yeah, right. Yeah, right, dude.
Well, the reason I wanted to bring all this stuff up, Anthony, is because one of the things that I would do as a kid, I assume you would do, and every kid would do, is the cannonball. You do the cannonball.
Got to do the
cannonball. You love can I splash the people on the outside of the pool that don't want to get splashed? Can I create the biggest splash I can with the cannonball? And I felt like as a kid, got pretty good at it. Got pretty good. Yeah,
you figure it out. You gotta go in. You gotta go in real tight. You gotta go in at the right angle. Like a certain amount of like your back will like flatten it out and stuff. But yeah, there's like a whole. There's like, hey Jeff, would you say there's a science to it?
There's in fact a science to big splashes. I don't know. There was always some kids that believed the jackknife was a more powerful splash.
Sure,
I never bought into that. Never.
Do you know why? Do you know why I think kids thought there were always kids that thought a jackknife would do it? I feel like there's always one big dad who loves a jackknife.
Yeah,
it's always
he can't get both knees up. He can't get both knees up, so he's a one knee guy. You know,
he's a one knee guy. He's a big dad, and he's always pro jackknife. And so you see that one big dad come out, like probably 3 beers in. He's the dad who's 3 beers in, and he like does the hugest splash in the pool, and after that, everybody goes, "Oh, jackknife! Jackknife's the way to do. Oh, please, jackknife." It's got nothing to do with this. With the fact that this guy's like 260 and just half drunk, dead weight. Like that's got nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's technique.
It's technique.
Well, I want to tell you about technique because I just learned about something that is fascinating. This is the science of big splashes.
Okay.
Have you heard, Anthony, of Manu jumping?
Manu jumping? No. Manu jumping.
Manu, M-A-N-U, Manu jumping. This is a way that has caught on like wildfire in recent years.
This has got to be Manu jumping comes from the Australian Commonwealth area. It's got to. It's got to be
absolutely right. It's New Zealand. It's the Maori people of New Zealand. It's the Maori, and they have developed this technique. But it's not like the ancient Maori tradition. No. It's like it just started in like the 90s. You know, it kind of percolated in the 90s, and there is now the Z Manu World Champs, they call them, which I love as very New Zealand, where they're not even going to say championships. We're going to abbreviate everything. Z Manu World Champs is a new competition for world's biggest splash that happens. The first one happened in 2024. So this is like brand new, sweeping the world. It's
you could
a new
get
thing.
In on the ground floor of Manu jumping right now.
Well, it's elevated because you have to jump into the water. So it's not really a ground floor. You're already up a ways, you know.
Hot cha cha. Hey Jeff.
Yeah.
Hot cha cha.
There's no ground floor. Manu jumping.
Yeah.
Is a new technique that it's you can find it all over YouTube. People are like kids are learning it. It's sweeping the world here, sweeping the nation. And so it caught the eye of some researchers in Atlanta, actually, and they
were looking for a vacation.
Yeah, looking for something fun to talk about. They've been tired of killing mice.
Look, every scientist is like, look, we're going into the mouse killing mines. You got to know that what you do, like you think what you do is going to be X, Y, or Z. No, what it is 80% just watching mice die or killing mice yourself. If you can pitch any kind of study
Yeah.
That gives you a week, gives you 2 weeks
Just
somewhere
a little
nice.
respite from bringing death to the mouse community.
Yeah, just from the plague that you are. Just keep in mind that geography can't solve the problem of yourself. Do you know what I mean? But like maybe for a week you can have something nice.
These guys were they accidentally misspelled mice in the search engine, and it came up with Maori. So they came up anyway. They found out that there has been quite a lot of scientific research into minimizing splashes for all sorts of military applications, and also for the Olympics, you know, like where the money is. Where's the money? It's in, you know, diving, having small splashes.
That's where the money is. Listen,
you follow the money.
If you want the money's in tiny splashes. And that's why when you go to school, they're going to try to get you to get a degree in tiny splashes. They're going to tell you.
That's right.
You can't follow your heart. You can't get a degree in big splashes because there's no jobs for big splashes. I'm here to tell you the job market is a myth. You got to splash the way you love.
Follow your heart towards splashes.
That's right. There ain't no jobs in splashing out there for anybody.
You know what's the big irony, Anthony, is that big splash is actually about small splashes. You know, the big splash holds people down, but it's really for small splashes.
So true. Yeah. So true,
anyway,
Dusty.
There's not a lot of science on creating the largest splash possible. So
yeah, because there's nobody researches being cool, which is stupid.
Yeah,
we've talked about this all the time. Nobody's ever researching being cool. Make everybody cooler, dum-dums.
That's honestly, if there's been a mission statement for the 10 years we've been doing We Have Concerns.
God, has it been 10 years?
It's been more than that, I think.
Really?
I don't want to count, you know?
Nobody does.
Nobody does.
Nobody does.
Anyway, we've been pushing.
That's why we
Dr.
have scientists. So they can do it for us.
We've been trying to invent Dr. Cool on this show for years, you know?
Sure.
And it doesn't happen.
Well,
anyway.
that's why he's such an enthralling and endearing character, is because he's an impossibility.
That's right.
There's no such thing as a cool scientist.
That's right.
There's no such thing as a cool scientist. There's no such thing as cool research. Everybody's trying to make splashes smaller. Everybody's trying to kill adorable mice. Just get on the ball, science.
Turn things around, science.
Jesus,
anyway,
science.
These dudes from these dudes from Atlanta hooked up with the University of Auckland, and they started analyzing YouTube videos of Manu jumpers.
Okay,
and then they built some modeling. They did some 3D printed models of the form of the Manu jump, and eventually created what they call the Manu bot, where they could test the entry into the water.
Okay,
very cool
I'm picturing like that Spider-Man robot they got at Disneyland, where he swings on a web and then he lands, and you're like, oh my god, this is fucking Spider-Man. I'm picturing a robot that looks like a cool guy and jumps off a cliff.
That's because you think that science grants are equivalent to the Disney World budget. And unfortunately,
Imagineers are scientists. Tony Stark's a scientist. Peter Parker, one day, going to be a great scientist if he can just get his act together.
These guys couldn't scrape a few more dollars to kill off some more mice.
Yeah. Hey, well, first of all, Jeff, you're about to tell me about this robot that was made to perfect Manu jumping. But I want to know, Jeff, we started off talking about cannonballs and jackknives. What does a Manu jump look like? What is the posture?
Excellent question. This is fascinating to me. I'm so excited to try one of these at our community pool in the next week.
Splash all the losers.
I've never heard of this, and it is evidently. So first, I'll tell you before we even get into it, the splash that won the 2024 Z Manu World Champs.
The splash hurled around the world, they call it.
That's right. 32 feet high.
No. Jumping from how high up?
So they jump. Well, it's more of a fall, really, and we'll get into that. But they go from
kind of all jumping is, Jeff.
Well, no, I mean they literally just step off. They don't leap. You know, that's part of it. That's part of it.
No leap.
Anyway, so it's a 5-meter platform. The splash was 10 meters, so it was double the height of what they jumped off of. Now
so that's
imagine
that's like jumping off the high dive at the local pool, and the splash goes up higher than that's the dream.
Double the height. Double.
Dude, that's literally the dream.
Yeah, it's massive. This is the way to make the biggest splash. This is definitively, scientifically, the best way you can make the biggest splash. Like,
dude, you're gonna teach your kid this. You're gonna teach your kid this, and your kid is going to be just the greatest, just the greatest kid, because he's gonna be the first kid to pull it off.
Well, the thing that's amazing about the Manu jump is it is actually a very high skill thing to pull off.
Okay.
So here's the way you do it.
Okay.
So you start on the platform. You don't jump. Now, for me, it was all diving board, cannonball. You get as high as you possibly can to come down and
let gravity do it.
Yeah. Not the case with the Manu jump. You step off and you kind of lean forward and step off, and then you you lean back and you create a sort of V shape with your body. So your legs are up, your back is up, and your butt is the lowest point. Your butt is the entry point. Human boomerang, yes. And you want to hit butt first on the surface of the water in this V shape. Okay. Now here's the tricky part.
That probably hurts.
I'm sure it don't feel good. It's better than a belly flop, I guess. But
Sure.
So as you land, the moment that you break the surface of the water with your glutes, you then straighten out in a sort of angled position. So you go from this V to straightening your back to this angled position where your head is below your feet.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And you're doing that as you're entering the water. So you're creating a giant gap of water, this air bubble, which is where the water is going to enter and shoot up, right?
Yes.
And then you close that gap with your body. So you're opening up and then closing back as you enter the water.
So this is the moment you hit. You've got to straighten, and then before you're even under, we're talking about a momentary
millisecond.
Action.
Yes.
Because you've got to curl back up.
You don't completely close back. You just kind of close your arms in and maximize the amount of air that's been trapped in that bubble you created. So then all the water shoots into that gap and catapults up out of the top of the surface of the water.
Wow.
So the dangerous part about this is that you are head down in the water. So you can't do this in a shallow pool. You got to have some real depth.
Sure.
Because you're catapulting your head toward the bottom of the water. So
you got to have depth.
Lots of room. Yes. Lots of room there to push your head back and create that bubble. But what happens is the water, shoots up out of that, into that hole that you've created and skyrockets, and you get these massive splashes. That is the Manu jump.
That's the Manu jump.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these researchers were like, okay, we're going to analyze. They analyzed 75 YouTube videos of Manu jumpers, checking out their technique, looking at the angle to the water. And then they started modeling it. First they had a very sort of it's all simplistic. None of it was a cool robot. They came with a cool name for the robot.
Sure.
But they had just a little projectile that they used, very high speed cameras to see how it went into the water. And then they created what they call the Manu bot, which is literally just a rod that bends in the middle like your body would. It's not very sophisticated.
But is it like it's got to be, it is a robot. So they,
yes.
It knows when it hits.
Movement.
It knows when it hits, and
yes.
it mimics
it mimics the motion, and so they were trying to find out, okay, what is the precise angle that you want to get into when you hit the water, and what is the best moment to open up and do that, that pose under the water where your head is down.
Tool-assisted speedrun.
Tool-assisted speedrun.
Tool-assisted speedrun. Summoning Salt's going to do a video on this, everybody. It's going to be like one of those 3-hour Mario Kart things where it's going to be like, you wouldn't believe how somebody shaved 3 seconds off of their time in Frappe Snowland. Well,
what they found out was that most of the Manu jumpers, the most successful Manu jumpers,
Stephen Manu,
would go into the water at almost exactly a 45-degree angle. Like their body was in a 45-degree angle.
Okay.
And what they found out through testing was that the precise angle that you want to maximize your splash, your precise entry angle of your body, based on the Manu bot, is 46 degrees. So like people had, through just pure trial and error, arrived at almost the exact perfect scientific angle to be at with their bodies.
Whoa.
Cool, right?
Whoa. That's the beauty of human. That's why AI can't take our jobs, assholes. That's why the robots will never win, because it was human creativity that came up with the Manu jump. Even all your science, all your language models and your robots and your technology, and all you could do was get 1 degree better than humanity. Then what's the point? What's the point, science? You're still not cool.
1 degree better, but like 6 degrees hotter planet-wide because of all the AI.
Oh, so, every time they use the Manu bot, it's equivalent to like to like air conditioning of a small city. It's like all of St. Louis in the summer.
That's right.
But they got it. They got it. They figured it out.
The Maori people of New Zealand are feeling the effects of climate change to a very significant degree. But
it's wild. Still. It's wild. Just a hole opened up right in the ozone. We don't know why the Manu bot needs so many CFCs. The Manu bot for some reason can only be powered by hairspray from the 1990s.
It's weird that they designed it that way, but they had all these aerosol cans left over, so they were like, we should use them. Yeah. So they discovered that if you're 5'7", jumping from 1 meter,
short king summer,
opening your body within 0.26 to 0.3 seconds of hitting the water, results in the biggest splash. Too soon or too late, and the splash size is compromised.
That's too okay. Can I
instantly?
This is okay. There's a thing that we all have heard of, probably, called proprioception. It's your mind's understanding of where your body is at any given moment. And every time I see people, I was an indoor kid. I'm still an indoor kid, really. And anytime I see anything that requires more than a basic level of proprioception, I'm just like, it's impossible. It's like the kind of people who can, I don't know, even do like a cartwheel. It's like, how do you know where your head is in space? That's crazy to me. And to know when you jump into the water, to feel the tiniest bit of moisture on your behind and know it is time to open like the beautiful flower you are.
That's right.
How?
So I've watched a number of there's a number of YouTube videos of like how to Manu jump, right? How to do it. And all of them are like, the instant you touch the water, you have to start the unfolding. And like people, they arrived at the scientific, 0.26 to 0.3 seconds. Like less than a second after your body touches the water is when you start opening. So it's literally, you're starting to press the water down as you hit the surface, right? You're pressing that, you're creating that envelope of bubble,
And then how long is the total motion, like the opening and then closing?
Well, then you have to, as soon as you are submerged, as soon as your entire body is submerged, as soon as your feet enter the water, because you're head first, right? At this point, you're head down. As soon as your feet enter the water, that's when you close it off to create that bubble that has to shoot up.
Yeah. Dude, there's no way I can't pull off a Manu jump.
I'm desperate to try this.
I'll try. I'll certainly try the same way I have tried a cartwheel. Let me tell you, Jeff, Jeff, probably about like once every couple of years, I'll be at a park and I'll be like, well, let's give it a shot. Let's see if today's the day. It's never the day. It only gets worse.
True. It only gets worse.
It only gets worse. And listen, it's not like it only gets worse because, I'm getting older. It only gets worse. And that's been the truth since I've been young. It only gets worse. I'll never do a cartwheel. Jeff, I just came to a realization. Jeff, hold on.
The cartwheel is dead to you. The cartwheel is dead to you.
Listen to me. Can you do a cartwheel?
I can, actually. I happen to know this because my daughter is obsessed with cartwheeling.
Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
It hurts.
Shut up.
I'm not saying it doesn't hurt.
I want you to shut up forever because I'm going to be lying on my deathbed. I'm going to be in hospice somewhere. My loved ones around me, and I won't say it. I won't say it because I think even on my deathbed it's too stupid to say. But I think I will think in my head, and I never did a cartwheel. One human life, and I never did a cartwheel. Couldn't pull it off. Couldn't pull it off. In my one brief flame of existence, in the blip that is the universe, that is the human experience in the universe, couldn't do a fucking cartwheel. Put it on my goddamn headstone, Jeff. I'm going to die without doing a cartwheel. And now you want me to Manu jump?
We all have regrets, Anthony. Some bigger than others, some more acrobatic than others, I suppose. But
can you do a flip?
I used to be able to, not anymore. I used to do all that stuff. There was
you could do a flip?
I could do a kip up and I could do a flip. And
I don't know what a kip up is.
That's the cool ninja thing where you go on your back and you shoot back up to your feet.
Yeah. The ab roll, like the crab ab roll thing. Crab apple.
The crab apple.
Yeah. So you could do that. Oh, that's right. Because you were a breakdancer boy.
Yeah.
I forget that you were a breakbeat boy.
You know that thing where you hold one ankle and then you're standing on one foot and then you jump and you bring your leg through the other leg and you land again on that same foot? I can do that.
Up. No.
Yeah, I used to do that at parties all the time. Everybody
that's a cool party trick.
It's a breakdancing move. Yeah.
Jeff.
Yeah.
You're going to die so happy? No, Jeff. Do you understand? Like, you're going to die so happy, dude. Like, you don't understand. Think of, I can do a forward roll. I can do a backward roll. That's basta. Finito.
You mean like a somersault? Yeah.
Yeah. I can do a forward and a backward roll.
Handstand, right? You can do a handstand.
I've never been able to do a handstand. I'm going to die knowing I can't do a handstand.
Sorry.
Are you kidding me?
More.
No, especially not with my head off the ground. Even the assisted with your head on the ground, I can't do.
Oh, I hated that. I can never do those.
You say that like everyone can do a headstand. Can everyone do a headstand but me?
Possibly.
You said, wait, is this a thing that everyone can do but me? That everyone can do a handstand?
I thought
holy
people could do handstand.
Shit, dude.
I mean, not like hanging around for
not like everybody, but but not like everybody. But you're talking to me like you're relatively sure that most people can do this.
I felt like, at a certain age, everybody was able to pretty much do a handstand. No,
fuck, dude. What's your Rubik's Cube time? What's your Rubik's Cube time?
I can't. I wish I could. I've always wanted to learn how to do a Rubik's Cube, but I've never.
Okay.
I want to be a speed cuber. I have a secret desire. That's will be on my deathbed. I never solved the Rubik's Cube.
If my speed cube wasn't downstairs, I'd do it right now on audio just to make myself feel better about death.
Can you? You could solve a Rubik's Cube on command?
Yeah.
See, we all have talents.
Yeah, but that's another mind talent. I'm removed from my physical form. I got to learn how to Manu jump. I got to be the best Manu jumper that ever existed. Otherwise, I'm going to die sad.
Dude, all I could think about when I read this article is the exact situation you were describing of the the dude who's had a few too many and just jackknifes and all the kids are like, imagine all the kids are cannonballing and you walk up to the diving board. You don't jump. You just step off. You do a perfectly timed Manu jump and the fucking splash just destroys.
Dude,
can you imagine what that would, like, no one has ever, in America, this has not reached our shores in a pervasive way. You could walk to a community pool right now. You could Manu jump and just own everyone and they'd be like, who the fuck was that guy?
Dude,
who was that guy?
I would literally walk into the pool, no towel, nothing, like nothing with me. Yes. Nothing with me. I would walk up to the diving board. I would pop a perfect Manu jump. I would get out of the pool, walk away wet. No one would ever know who I was. No one would ever know.
Be wet. Everybody around would be wet for 20 meters. It would be you'd soak the entire area. It would be incredible.
I'd maybe turn around and wink at one kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But do that like Robert Redford, like over the shoulder, turn my head back and just wink at one kid and then just walk away. That's what I'd do. And I'd do it at every goddamn pool in the world.
Just tour the nation.
Until my story preceded me. And everybody would just be like, I think that's him. I think that's the Manu jumper.
Yeah. Who's
then
the
I'd
Manu
die
now,
happy.
dog?
Then I'd die happy.
See, we have achievable goals here.
It's not achievable. I'll never be able to do it.
So scientifically, the Manu jump is actually 2 distinct splashes. There's 2
Me splashing
splashes.
You splash in the ground.
That's right. That's exactly right. So don't step to me, buddy. You get 2 splashes.
Everybody gets 2 splashes.
The first is called the crown splash. This is the normal cannonball splash. This is the splash that occurs when you break the surface of the water.
This is going to lull everyone into a false sense of security. When you hit the water, they're going to be like, they're going to be like, this guy fucked up his cannonball so bad.
Why did he go in backwards? That's weird. His head's upside down. That's weird.
For a third of a second, everybody's going to be like, that lose what?
And then what happens is what is known now as the Worthington splash.
Why? Tell me why.
The Worthington splash is, I don't know why it's, there's an entire paper from the annual review of fluid dynamics from 2014. Sure. It's volume 46 for collectors. Volume 46 of the annual review of fluid mechanics, I should say.
I forgot to renew my subscription and I missed 45 through 49.
Oh no, you missed out on water entry of projectiles.
Yeah,
where they describe why it is called the Worthington splash. But the Worthington splash is what the Manu jump is all about. It's about triggering and maximizing the Worthington splash, which is that secondary splash that is generated under the surface of the water, that shoots water from below the surface up into these massive plumes.
Why Worthington? Who's Worthington?
It's cool.
Who's Worthington?
It sounds very New Zealand-y.
Is Worthington the guy who walked in and didn't say a word?
It's Worthington. He went from pool to pool and just, man, Worthington splash is amazing. Have you seen Worthington splash?
Have you seen Worthington, dude? Have you seen Worthington do it?
Yeah.
Is that Worthington, they say, as he walks in? Why would you name it that and then not tell everybody why?
There's a Worthington jet. Maybe is why it's called it. I'm seeing when a solid object or liquid droplet impacts the surface of a liquid pool, a jet or column of fluid forms above the surface. This jet or column is called the Worthington jet.
Yes, it's
Worthington from 1882 was the first to investigate this jet.
Wow, Worthington.
Arthur Mason Worthington.
There it is.
Best known for his work on fluid mechanics, especially the physics of splashes.
Wow. Hey, he didn't even have to jump, and he's connected to the biggest splash. He simply awesome. That's like John Madden being the name of the football game.
That's right. Yeah. Nobody even remembers John Madden anymore.
No, John Madden. Most people know that John Madden for being like sitting behind a desk and being like, hey, look at football. That's what Worthington is.
Wow. Worthington, Arthur Mason Worthington was educated at rugby school, which he left in 1871 before attending Trinity College in Oxford, where he earned a master's in 1878.
I am imagining a school where it's just bros in striped shirts just fucking tackling the shit out of each other all day.
School. But I would imagine kind of guy do you got to be to drop out of rugby school?
You got to. Well, it's like a kid who grows up in the circus who runs away to become an accountant.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Exactly right.
Like,
he went off to go to Oxford and study fluid dynamics.
That's right. Now I would imagine somebody's gonna get on social media and tell us that rugby's the name of the school where the sport comes from or some shit. Don't shut your mouth.
No,
I want to imagine
the way we imagine it.
Yeah, it's tough guy school. It's tough guy school for toughs.
Yeah, there's actually literally no academics studied. It's only maximizing your scrum.
No, you've got to get like special permission from the dean for a personalized program if you want to do any academics at rugby school.
That's right.
And then somebody comes to rugby practice and they're like, hey, we need Dave. And it's like, fuck, these guys keep pulling Dave out of rugby practice. His rugby grades are lacking. Who keeps pulling him out? It's like, oh, it's those fucking math scouts.
Yeah. The math scouts, man, they're ruining all the great rugby prospects.
And the teacher pulls him aside. The teacher pulls him aside and is like, hey man, I know you think you've got a future in math, but listen, even the people who make it into math, who make it into physics, think about Arthur Worthington. He only had like 2-3 years at his physical peak. You like to think that you get millions and like you're taken care of and you've got like product endorsements, but that's not the way it is for everyone.
You know how hard it is to go pro in math? It's a very, very small number of people, and you got to have something to fall back on, something safe like rugby.
Rugby, you stay here. I'm telling you, you don't have to give up on math. Just make sure that you're taking care of rugby.
And the parents are all crying because they wanted their kids to be rugby players like they were, and the kids have dreams of math.
Yeah. Oh man. And then like what's heartbreaking is when a kid goes to his first mathletes competition, and fucking throws out his brain on a word problem.
Just blows out his brain. His blows out. His career is over.
It's done in one competition, and then he didn't have the grades in rugby, and he doesn't have a career.
He can't go back to rugby now that you've got a brain blowout.
That's right. That's right.
We didn't emigrate to this country for you not to be a rugby player. You know what I'm saying? We did not. I had dreams. I gave up everything in my home country to come here so that my child could have a future as a rugby star. And
that's right.
You want to study math?
Ridiculous. If I knew the name of a rugby player, that's when I'd be like, and that father's name was, and then I would name that famous rugby player.
But there aren't any.
There aren't any because it's not a
It's safe. It's a safe.
It's a safe job. It's not glitzy or glamorous. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Not like math.
Not like the math stars we could all name.
Boy, we've really come around on science being cool. Only took us a half hour. So the second splash is the Worthington, and that's the one that comes from the lack of like the water is trying to fill the empty space. And then
that's the one that shoots skyward. That's how you get the biggest splashes.
What I'm imagining, I'm running this fluid dynamics simulation in my head. You go in as the V, which creates like a well almost.
That's right.
And then when you close up, the water tries to, and then when you open up, you open up.
You close first and then you open.
Yeah, you close. And then so the water keeps rushing in, and then you open the well back up at the very end. And so everything pops back up because it's trying to fill the empty space. And that's right. That's the Worthington Shuffle.
That's right. That's right. That's the Manu jump, baby. That's the Manu jump. And so if you want this summer, if you're listening and you want to wow your friends, get into that Manu jump, baby. Get into that position. Fall in a V. You're going to look like a real weirdo for a second, but then everyone will realize you got science on your side, If
you have a non-public pool, whether it's your pool, a friend's pool, something like that, where you can practice this a doughboy, where you can a good above ground doughboy, where you can practice this a couple times, make sure you got it. Because you do want to, I'm telling you, if you can do it in one, do the Worthington walk away.
That's right.
The Worthington splash into the Worthington walk away, into the Worthington wink, into the Worthington disappear. Become legend.
Become Worthington. Yeah.
And if
anybody listening, this is, make sure you have the depth because you're pressing your head toward the bottom. So don't get into a situation where you can crack your skull on the bottom of the pool. I'm not your dad. I'm not your dad. Get a concussion. Weed yourself out. I don't care. I don't care. And I differ.
I'm not your father. Listen, go out there and become legend. And if you want to become legend, there are a couple ways to do it. One is by being the greatest Manu jumper in the world. The other way is by supporting the show.
Yes, you'll be a legend in our eyes. And you can even spread word of your legend by visiting our Discord and sowing the seeds of your myth by talking to the like-minded folks there in our Discord. Really fun people hanging out, sharing stories, talking about science and summer and all sorts of other cool things.
That's right. And as you, after you join the Discord, if you want to support the show a little bit more, you can do so for every couple bucks more that you give. You get a few more interesting things like early episodes, bonus segments, all kinds of fun stuff. Just head over to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns to find out how. I'm gonna die sad.
That's how we should end every episode.